dear students of secondary certificate. Now we are going to explain chapter 3, rocks. What is a rock? The rock is a natural solid body, consists of a number of minerals combined together at different ratios and sometimes consists of one mineral only. So the rock consists of some minerals combined together, or at least one mineral. Each rock is characterized by or has some properties, by definite chemical structure. So it has own physical properties that distinguish it from others. So each rock has some characteristics by which we can differentiate it from other rocks, or it is distinguished by these properties from other rocks. There are different types of rocks: igneous rocks, sedimentary rocks, metamorphic rocks. Igneous rocks, it is the first type, the primary rock, which formed on Earth's crust, and from which all other rocks are formed due to different geological processes. So it is called the mother of rocks, or primary rocks. It is formed due to cooling and crystallization of molten material, magma, when its temperature decreases, whether inside its layer or in the surface. So, igneous rocks are formed from molten material, from magma, when the temperature decreases. The formation of these rocks may be inside Earth or on the surface of the Earth. For example, granite, andesite, and basalt. The second type of rocks is sedimentary rocks. It is the rocks, It is the rock that formed due to fragmentation of ancient igneous, sedimentary, or metamorphic rocks due to weathering processes. Then transfer the fragments by natural transportation factors, and then deposition and consolidation of fragments. So sedimentary rocks are formed due to the fragmentation, the disintegration of other rocks, igneous, sedimentary, or metamorphic, and transport these fragments to another place, then to be deposited and to form sedimentary rocks. The third type is the metamorphic rocks. Metamorphic rocks, it is a rock that formed when igneous or sedimentary rocks are affected by intense heat or pressure, or both together. So it is metamorphosed into new rock of new properties that doesn't belong to the other two original rocks. So metamorphic rocks is formed due to the effect of temperature and pressure on other types of rocks, on sedimentary rock or in igneous rock. For example, marble and mica schist. The most important differences between the three types of rocks, some properties or some characteristics can differentiate these three types of rocks. The igneous rocks are massive, crystalline, non-porous rocks that don't contain fossils. Sedimentary rocks are stratified, found in layers, rarely crystalline, often porous and often contain fossils. So it is often porous and often contain fossils. But the metamorphic rocks are foliated in the form of sheets or massive, crystalline, and non-porous rocks and may contain distorted fossils. So igneous rocks are massive, non-porous. Metamorphic rocks are foliated and non-porous. Sedimentary rocks stratified and has fossils, sometimes has fossils. But the difference between sedimentary rock and metamorphic rock is that metamorphic rock sometimes has distorted fossils. It is this fossil distorted by the effect of pressure or temperature. Here, a rock cycle. James Hutton, Scotch scientist, in 1785 was the first who related between the three known types of rocks on the Earth and the effect of atmosphere and hydrosphere and their geological processes that leads to change in rocks from one type to another in one cycle called rock cycle. If we look here at this diagram or this picture here, we will find that the igneous rocks, okay, is affected by weather. So the grains or the fragments transported and deposited, okay, as the sedimentary rocks after lithification. And the sedimentary rocks may be subject to heat or pressure to be converted or metamorphized into metamorphic rocks. Sometimes the metamorphic rocks subject to huge heat to be molten and to become as magma. So the cycle of the rock starts with igneous, then subject to weathering, transportation, deposition, and lithification, metamorphism, and melting to become magma, and then magma subject to crystallization by cooling to return back to the formation of igneous rock. This is the rock cycle of James Hutton. If we look here at stages of rock cycle, weathering process. It is the impact of weather factors as rains and winds, where the fragmentation and decomposition of igneous rocks into small pieces of rock. Okay? This process occurs due to weathering factors or due to the weather. So it is called weathering process. So weathering process, it is a reflection of weather on rocks. There are two types of this process, a mechanical weathering and a chemical weathering, and we are going to explain these types of weathering later. Number two, transportation process. The fragments are transported and to depositional basins in lowland areas by transportation factors like rivers, glaciers, winds, and others, which are sliding on the mountain surfaces with the help of gravity. That means that fragments fall down by gravity, or by wind currents in deserts, or by water currents in the seas. So new surface is eroded to activate weathering process. So transportation, that means transporting the fragments, which is formed by the effect of weathering, which we explained by chemical weathering or mechanical weathering. Then to deposition basins and forming layers of sedimentary rock. Sedimentation process. When the ability of the transported agent weakens as a result of lowering in slope or decreasing in velocities, the transported fragments or deposits accumulates in the bottom of the sea, I mean the bottom of the sea or ocean, taking the shape of horizontal beds, which increase in thickness by the continuous of deposition. After that, the lissification process. The lower beds are affected by the weight of higher upper layers, making its grains closer to each other, adhesive, and cohere by cementation or by cementing materials to consolidate, and then the loss of sediments are changed into hard lissified and consolidated sedimentary rocks. Metamorphism process. The sedimentary rocks or other rocks go slowly down to great depths in areas where the relative instability of the surface layers of the earth is significantly exposed to increasing of temperature and pressure, changing tooth rocks into new rocks called metamorphic rocks. And the change usually includes minerals, some minerals, and texture of the rocks, so that the appropriate balance of a stable rock occur with a new conditions of temperature and pressure. Melting process, cooling and crystallization. So now we are going to explain what is the melting process. When the metamorphic rocks or any other type subjected to significant increase in temperature and pressure in great depths, their mineral constitute uh, melt when reaching melting point. I mean, the metamorphic rocks in depth or deep in the earth may be subject to high pressure and high temperature, and this make them uh, melt and reach melting point. After melting, it becomes like magma. So cooling and crystallization process supposed to happen. When magma goes out from magma chamber and exposed to low temperature, it it solidifies, forming igneous rocks. They may be intruded underground to give plutonic igneous rocks, such as granite, or erupted to the surface as lava in the volcanic eruption regions to give volcanic igneous rocks, such as basalt and andesite. So the cycle starts again from the beginning by the effect of weathering on surface rock, which change the Earth's surface. Now we have some questions here. Question number one: which of the following rocks are igneous? Basalt and granite, schist and mudstone, marble and schist, limestone and sandstone, sandstone and mudstone. So, what is the correct answer? Uh, Basalt and granite pose are igneous. Schist and mudstone. Mudstone is sedimentary, but schist is metamorphic. Marble is metamorphic. Schist is metamorphic. Limestone is sedimentary, and sandstone as well. sandstone, sedimentary, and mudstone as well. So the best answer for these questions, which is which of the following rocks are igneous, it will be basalt and granite. So the correct answer is A. Question number 2. When magma cools, it solidifies, forming igneous rocks. Which process within the rock cycle is described by this statement? So the question is, when magma cools, it solidifies, forming igneous rock. Which process within the rock cycle is described by this statement? Is it weathering, cooling and crystallization, melting, gasification, sedimentation? Which one is the best answer? The best answer is cooling and crystallization. Question number 3. True or false? Sedimentary rocks commonly contain fossils. Is it true or false? Sedimentary rocks commonly contain fossils. It's true. So, sedimentary rocks commonly contain fossils is true. Question number 4. Which process within the rock cycle does the following statement describe? When a rock is subjected to an increase in temperature and pressure, its component minerals change to become more stable in the new conditions. So, what is the best description for this statement? Is it sedimentation, cooling and crystallization, weathering, metamorphism, melting? The answer is metamorphism, because metamorphism, it is the process of converting the rock or changing the rock by the effect of pressure and temperature to a metamorphic rock. So the best description for this statement is metamorphism. Question number 5. Hydrocarbon reservoir rocks require good porosity to contain oil and gas. Which of the following rocks will make the best hydrocarbon reservoir? Is it marble? Is it schist, granite, basalt, sandstone? I think the hydrocarbon needs a porous rock. And the porous rock must be sedimentary rock. Marble is a metamorphic. Gneiss is a metamorphic. Granite is igneous rock. Basalt is igneous rock. But sandstone is a sedimentary rock. So the best answer for this is sandstone. E. Question number 6. What stages of the rock cycle are fundamental to the formation of sedimentary rocks? What stages of the rock cycle are fundamental to the formation of sedimentary rocks? So what is the stage? Okay, to the formation of sedimentary rock. Is it melting, cooling, crystallization, and weathering? Or liquefaction, metamorphism, crystallization, and transportation? Or weathering, transportation, sedimentation, and liquefaction? Or liquefaction, melting, cooling, and metamorphism? Or transportation, melting, crystallization, and cooling? We are talking about sedimentary rocks. So, the best answer for this is weathering, then transportation, then sedimentation, and liquefaction. So the answer is C, weathering, transportation, sedimentation, and liquefaction. Question number 7, true or false? Sedimentary and igneous rocks are the two rock types that can contain fossils. Sedimentary and igneous rocks are the two rock types that can contain fossils. That's right, because sedimentary sometimes contain fossils. Also metamorphic sometimes contain fossils, but it's broken fossils, distorted fossils, that's it. So the statement is true. Question number 8. What two processes are involved in the lissification? In the lissification, is it cooling and crystallization? Is it compaction and cementation? Deposition and fossilization? Melting and volcanism? Weathering and sedimentation? We are talking about lissification. Lissification. So, the best answer for this is compaction and cementation. Compaction and cementation. So, the two processes are involved in lissification is compaction and cementation. So the best answer is P. P, compaction and cementation. Question number 9, true or false? With enough geologic time, with enough geological time, a sedimentary rock can become a different sedimentary rock. Sedimentary rock become different sedimentary rock. Yeah, that's right. This is true because sometimes sedimentary rock is affected by weathering to become little grains. Okay? So it form another type of sedimentary rock. So it is right. Question number 10, true or false? The rate of weathering is higher in warm and wet climates. The rate of weathering is higher in warm and wet climates. That's true because weathering sometimes happens by the effect of temperature, higher and lower temperature, because of expanding and contraction, and then affect the hardness of the rock to break it to little pieces. And the weather as well. When the rain combined with carbon dioxide forming carbonic acid effect on limestone to melt it. So, question number 10, true or false? The rate of weathering is higher in warm and wet climate. It is true. It is true. Question number 11, the following figure expresses a part of the rock cycle. As we see here, rock P is converted into silicon dioxide grains after lissification, forming another rock A, contact with magma to become rock B. So what are the rocks A and B? A is a sandstone, quartzite, quartzite, sandstone, sands, quartzite, quartzite, sands. So the rocks are A and P respectively. So A is the first. So A here is sedimentary rock. Supposed to what? Sandstone or sands. Okay? So A is sandstone or sands. But sands are loose. There is no cementation. So it is not a rock. So to be a rock or similar rock supposed to be sandstone. So A must be sandstone. And B after metamorphism by the contact of magma supposed to be metamorphic rock. So B is supposed to be quartzite. So the best answer for this is A, sandstone, quartzite. So A is a sandstone and B quartzite. So the answer is A, sandstone, quartzite. That's it for now. And we are going to complete the explanation of this chapter in the next videos. Thank you so much, Mr. Sabit.